Anne movies you need to watch after The Idea of You, Secretary, NASA Doctor, CEO, and Princess. Jump into these Anne Hathaway movies after watching The Idea of You. Anne Hathaway's latest film, The Idea of You, sees her take on the role of a 40-year-old woman who gets into a whirlwind relationship with a boy band member who's 20 years her junior. I wish the movie could have been better, but like they always say, when Anne Hathaway. Okay, maybe I'm the only one that says that. All I'm saying is that despite the movie being meh, Anne still delivers a knockout performance. That said, there's no better time to take a dive into the acclaimed actress filmography. Here are 7 Anne Hathaway films you need to watch. 7 Anne Hathaway movies to watch after The Idea of You. Les Miserables, 2012. Many have criticized the vocal performances in this film, which spurred the debate on casting more famous Hollywood actors instead of casting actual stage performers who effortlessly belt these songs 8 shows a week. But the one shining moment in this Tom Hooper film is Anne Fantine. Those familiar with the musical know Fantine belts out one of the most iconic songs from the musical, I Dreamed a Dream, and Anne's version of the song is intimate, heart-wrenching, and utterly masterful. While on stage, the song is sweepingly orchestrate. Anne's trembling execution of the song in the movie as she sings through sobs is something to behold. The Intern, 2015. You can never go wrong with a Nancy Meyers movie, and it was a match made in heaven when Anne finally worked with the acclaimed director. Not only did she work with Meyers, but her co-star was none other than Robert De Niro. This feel-good dramedy has Anne take on the role of a successful CEO of a startup trying to balance life and work when an elderly intern walks into her life and reminds her of what's truly important. Seeing Anne and De Niro act together is a treat, and while there's something in me that wants to see them in a grittier drama of sorts, this movie is just so enjoyable you can watch it again and again. We know Anne played the Princess of Genovia, but she also had a chance to play another princess. Ella Enchanted was more like a live-action Shrek with a fantasy world replete with ogres and elves while also having modern references and characters belting out Elton John. Unfortunately, it wasn't much of a success, but that doesn't mean it's not a fun time. Anne absolutely kills a rendition of Queen's Somebody to Love, and that alone makes this movie worth the watch. The Devil Wears Prada, 2006. It's already a given, but it would be a grave mistake to leave it off this list. The iconic trio of Meryl, Emily, and Anne was born from this Davin Frankel-directed film. There's really not much else to say about the movie that's already been said. Are you perhaps one of the rare people who have never watched this cerulean-embossed, Jimmy Choo-strutting film? Let this be your assurance. If John Krasinski is obsessed with this film and memorized all of Anne's outfits from the montage, then there's a good reason why. Interstellar, 2014. Anne's first collab with Christopher Nolan was The Dark Knight Rises, but it was here in Interstellar where she really got to shine. That's not to say that her turn as Selena Kyle wasn't iconic, but her role here as Amelia Brand coupled with Matthew McConaughey's Joseph Cooper is just fireworks. The fact that she fangirled over McConaughey's performance in Magic Mike to Christopher Nolan is the cherry on the cake. One day, 2011, a warning should really be given to all would-be viewer of this film because it will utterly ruin you. This romantic drama stars Anne and Jim Sturgess as two lovers who long for each other for years but for one reason or another could never get together. I don't want to spoil the movie, but Anne, as always, delivers a top-notch performance. Make no mistake, this film will hurt you severely. The Princess Diaries 1 and 2, 2001 and 2004. I don't care that Anne is now 40 years old and that middle-aged could be an accurate description of her. For me, she will always and forever be Amelia Mignonette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia. Years later, people are still clamoring for a third film, which just shows what kind of impact this film has, especially on millennials like me. This was the movie that launched her career, and no one will ever forget how we swooned at her makeover reveal and how we cheered when she finally got crowned as queen in the second movie. On top of that, Julie Andrews as Queen Clarisse is just legendary. Anne will continue to do many projects, but she will always be our Princess of Genovia.